Tennessee Life is sponsored by
Mid-South Sewing and Fabric has what you need for your creative adventure. If it's sewing, embroidery, or vinyl projects you need for a home business, Etsy, Pinterest, and your family, we have it. Mid-South Sewing sells Brothers Sewing and Embroidery machines and the latest scan and cut crafting machine. Mid-South Sewing and Fabric in the Gallery Shopping Center.
Tennessee Life is also brought to you by The Flower Pot. For over 100 years, offering flowers and same-day delivery with 2 convenient Knoxville locations. KnoxvilleFlowerPot.com. And by viewers like you. Thank you. On this edition of Tennessee Life, we ring in the holidays with some special stories of the season, including the sounds of a handbell choir.
As with any ensemble, it is the rehearsing together and taking something that you don't know and turning it into something beautiful. It's a rewarding thing.
Meet some of Santa's helpers working hard to make sure Tennessee children have a special Christmas. The Tellico Village Woodworkers Association has a tradition of making hundreds of toys with their hands and hearts every year to give to children in Loudoun County.
They usually start in September and they go all the way right up to Thanksgiving. And they make a lot of toys, they spend a lot of time, no shortcuts in making the toys. It's all done very, very good.
If your family loves to get out and look at Christmas lights, here's a new way to do it, in a cave. Come explore the natural and man-made decorations inside Cherokee Caverns.
We're real careful how we decorate. You know, we can't be touching the formations. The oil off your hands will disturb how the formation grows. So we have to be real careful how we hang our lights, and I'm always seeing new things that I hadn't seen in the years past. And we have a really unique selection of different formations that are really rare.
Those stories next on this holiday edition of Tennessee Life.
Thanks for joining us for this holiday edition of Tennessee Life. I'm Vicki Lawson. In this age of high-tech entertainment, children still get excited by a simple handmade toy. Members of the Tellico Village Woodworkers Club find joy in making toys and even more in giving them away. They've given children in Loudoun County more than 7,000 gifts since 1998. We caught up with them in the workshop, where you'll see they really are Santa's helpers.
My kids gave me a sign I have on the door in there. It's Grandpa's Workshop, toys fixed here.
The torque is such that
Could you hand me a pencil, please?
they'll flip the plane over and you can't control
These guys have been probably working since end of September, early October, and they meet a couple of times a week, and there's a lot of man hours that go in, not to mention they make a lot of toys, they spend a lot of time, no shortcuts in making the toys. This group right here will probably do a total of around 35, 36 toys just by themselves. My name is Bob Ware. I'm the chairman for the Toys for Tots drive, the Tellico Village Woodworkers Association. It's my job to kind of coordinate all the groups, keep them going, and put a program together so that in December, when we make our presentations to the Sheriff's Department, all the toys, it's all organized, well put together. The Tellico Village Woodworkers Association was formed 25 years ago. At that time, I believe there were somewhere in the area of 17 to 20 guys who started the club. And it has grown to where today we have over 160 members in our club. They do a lot of civic duty things. We build wheelchair ramps. We do a lot of things with the community church. We build a lot of furniture, do a lot of special projects for different people in the community as a result of this organization starting. Maybe somebody's got some furniture in their home that is falling apart and they'd like to have repaired. We do all sorts of things like that. 5 years after they had been making things, they got involved with the Loudoun County Sheriff's Department, Tim Geider, and we've been working with him. This is our 20th year, and making toys for families who are in need of Christmas items at Christmas time. We've made thousands and thousands of wooden toys. This last year, we put together almost 800 toys that our group built. Plus, we also collected a little over 700 unwrapped presents, plus a couple $1,000s worth of cash donations. We have 7 different teams like this in the village that are building toys at the same time. Plus, we also have 14 gentlemen who have their own shops and are working by themselves. We're trying to shoot for a goal of over 800 toys again this year. These gentlemen here are making wooden airplanes, copies of the Spirit of St. Louis. You may have somebody making the wings, somebody making the wheels, somebody making the fuselage, or somebody's making the propeller. So each individual person in the team has a function, what they have to do. They're making some ball games that are, hand and eye skill coordination games. So we've made doll houses, we've made little kitchen cabinets, little pots and pans, all out of wood, cradles, high chairs, a number of different things. 2 years ago, we made some very nice rocking horses. They were very, very ornate, and they were very well accepted. We've made helicopters, we've made racing cars, we've made trucks. Probably the most enjoyable project that I was involved with was making the rocking horses. If you notice some of the toys that we make, they're very nice. I'm sure some of these toys, if you were to go to try to buy them, they're very expensive in the stores. And it's all quality stuff, and we're real proud of the work that we do and the different projects that we've made. We're very, very proud of this. At the beginning of the year, the teams are formed, and they sit down in one of the team captains' home, and they sit down, they talk about what they want to make. This particular year, there's a lot more young girls who are teenagers and no longer need the doll cradles, so we're making the jewelry boxes and more things that are geared up for that particular age group. So that's what we try to use as a guidance to help them decide what they want to make. We're very, very fortunate. We have an extremely high talented level of individuals who are helping us make our toys. A number of people in our group who are retired from the automobile industry, who are machinists, who are tool and die makers, and they have a lot of hands-on skills on how to use all this equipment. And they pass that on to us with these mentoring classes they have. And you don't actually know how to use a saw when you come into the club, but we have different classes throughout the year, and we'll teach you how to use the different tools and guide you and help you to. I think a lot of is the fellowship that we have between us. Everybody's retired, so sometimes our wives appreciate us getting out of the house and getting away. And also, like in my own case, it's my wife, I go out into my shop and I work, and I leave her alone. But it's really, really a lot of fun. We enjoy it. You'll find that the different teams we have, a lot of the workshops are very, very similar to this, because these gentlemen take a real pride in their shops, and they like to show off a little bit and see what they have. So sometimes it can be a little competitive.
I park all my tools along the wall, and then I move them out when I need to, and I don't use wheels on them. I have an air bearing system that I slide them around with. So it's called an air sled. But at any rate, it's just been a hobby all my life. And finally, with this woodworking group, they've had mentoring programs where they've taught us how to do things right. And I've been able to even make some furniture and things like that, cabinets and so on, that have turned out something I could be a little bit proud of.
Between the community projects, the Toys for Tots, we keep very busy year-round. It's not just a 3-4 months deal out of the year. It's a 12-month program. We have basically, it's like an open house, and invite everybody in the village to come and take a look and see what exactly we've made, what it looks like, and what we're actually giving to the sheriff. And the comments that we get from the general public and looking at the toys and the things we make, it's overwhelming. It's very, very good. Always very positive. The remarks that we've gotten from the sheriff, again, we don't come in contact directly with the people who are receiving the gifts. It's a very confidential, private thing, but the sheriff always tells us the results and the comments that he gets from the people who are receiving the toys. And it's always very heartwarming, and you feel real good. It's our chance to show off, if you will, the workmanship that we do, because we not only show the toys and stuff they make, there's other pieces of furniture and things that individual guys have made and gals in the group that have made.
It's really a pleasure to be able to come up with ideas like these airplanes and the game, and be able to know that that's going to somebody that otherwise wouldn't be able to enjoy it.
they're made right here in the village, you know? They weren't made in Mexico or Canada, or they're made right here in the village, so that means a lot. And I think a lot of people have gotten away from that sort of thing. They're used to just opening up a box or opening up a present and seeing it's there, and not really knowing the history of where it came from and the workmanship that went into even making it. So you can tell when you look at the toy itself, you pick up and you hold it, you can see that it's homemade. And it's not, you know, made off at some assembly line anywhere. It's actually homemade, and it's made with somebody's thinking about it and their preparation they put in, their heart and soul they put into making it. They're very, very well made, great, great toys.
Later on Tennessee Life, to see these sparkling Christmas lights, you have to go underground. But next, listen to some of the sounds of the season from a handbell choir.
The sound of bells ringing makes for the perfect background music for Christmas. At Fountain City United Methodist Church, the Handbell Choir rings year-round. We visited this choir of many bells as they came together in perfect melody.
The bell choir is a part of an overall very appreciated music ministry here. I can't articulate just how well loved and supported we are by our congregation, and the bell choir is simply just a part of what we do. The more people you have, the more bells you can use. There are certainly small bell choirs that only have a few people and 2 or 3 octaves of bells. We here ring using 5 octaves of bells and chimes. We have about 14 people in our bell choir here. A lot of folks think that handbell ringing is going to be easier than singing in a choir, or somehow make them feel less exposed. But in truth, you are the only person playing your 2 notes, whereas in a choir, you are one of many people singing your part. So there's a good chance that someone will hear you if you make an error. And it's harder to read your part than people think that it is, simply because there are a lot of notes on the page that don't belong to you, and you have to zero in on the ones that do. When you put them out on the tables, it is easiest if they are lined up in chromatic order, like from C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, from the lowest to highest, going left to right, so that it resembles a keyboard. And that way, your bells are always in the place you are accustomed to picking them up, and you don't get lost because you pick up something misplaced. You don't have to have a lot of years of background in music to play handbells, but it sure makes it easier if you do. It is an instrument, and the more you know, the easier it is to play. My passion for music began with my mother. I can remember as a young child being home with her during the day while my older sisters were at school, and we passed the time with her playing the piano and our singing together. And I was just one of those children that was very musical very early, picking out tunes on the piano when I was 4, harmonizing by ear when I was a young elementary student, and being shocked that not everybody heard music the same way I did. I knew early on that I was going to be a music teacher when I grew up. At the same time in that. It's not just what child is this. Play it again and see if on career day when I was in 5th grade, I dressed like my music teacher. I knew.
Bell check.
We have 3 handbell choirs here. The youngest is called Genesis Bells, and it is for kids in grades 3 through 5. They come usually not having a lot of music experience, but we don't turn anybody away. If they think they want to learn to play, then we try to teach them. The next group up is our youth handbell choir called Offering, with a pun, O-F-F-E, capital R-I-N-G, and they are in grades 6 through 12. And then our third group is the Tollers, and it is any adult who wants to ring. It is very fun, and anytime that I can make music with other people instead of making music by myself, it's a more fun activity. There's a lot of camaraderie involved when you are in rehearsals, making mistakes in front of each other, getting to know each other really well in those circumstances. Anytime that you can take a piece of music and read through it with a lot of mistakes and turn it into something beautiful over time, that's a good thing. There are many different techniques that you can use. We use mallets on occasion and play the bells as if they are a malleted percussion instrument. There are different ways to ring, and one of those is called a mart, where you would take the bell and actually strike it flat handle down onto the table. One of my ringers one time managed to run into her music stand with the bell, and she just laughingly called that a stand mart. Taking care of the bells is just as important as ringing them. You must care for your equipment because it's a huge investment for the church to purchase this. You don't touch the brass ever with a bare hand. Any oils from your skin that are on the brass will of course corrode the bell. And you ring wearing gloves also, and most people think that that is to protect the bell, but mostly just as with gardening or doing anything work-related with your hands. You want to protect your own hands from blisters, and if you are in a long bell rehearsal, then those handles will rub sore places onto your hands. We also shine them regularly. We have what we call a bell shining party, where several of us come together and use the good brass polish and shine them up really nicely. We do tend to use our bells not just at Christmas, but for the other more festive times. We generally do ring them for, say, Easter or Palm Sunday. On those Sundays when we want there to be just a little bit extra in the service. We generally just play along with hymns, or we have special music spots where we play a solo piece. Occasionally we are used in service music in other ways, such as All Saints Sunday. We have what sounds like a random ring, where a new bell is tolled for each name as the roll of remembrance is read. And by the end, you have all of these bells ringing, and it's a little bit of a wind chime effect. Quite lovely and meaningful to those involved. The Bell Choir is active. We even participate most years in this event called the Knox Area Handbell Festival, where several church handbell choirs come together in one place, set up all of their equipment, and ring in a mass choir situation. We're all playing the same music at the same time. For 13 or 14 choirs to ring together, that's a pretty big experience. I'm always proud when they do well. As with any ensemble, it is the rehearsing together and taking something that you don't know and turning it into something beautiful. For those of us who are musicians, it's vital. It's just the music itself is where we feel God's presence there.
Now for a different way to take in the beauty of twinkling lights with a trek in a cave. Cherokee Caverns is a rare gem. It's decked out with thousands of lights to get you into the holiday spirit. But the most impressive decorations are the natural formations.
It's just a really unique place, special place. There's no other in town. This is the only underground cave lit for Christmas in the area, so we have a really unique spot here. It's just beautiful. We have Christmas music playing, pictures with Santa and the Grinch, and it really resonates with everybody. My name's Mike Whidbey. I'm one of the managers, protectors, guardians of Cherokee Caverns, along with my family, and we've been here since '89 trying to protect the cave and open it to the public and sharing it. Cherokee Caverns is located in between Knoxville and Carnes in the Solway area. We're on Oak Ridge Highway. This is our 6th year doing Christmas in the cave, and we put about 40,000 lights all around, and we've got pictures with Santa, and we've got the Grinch running around aggravating people, and we give out candy canes and peppermints, and just a really unique place to spend Christmas. We've got a really good group of volunteers that help us, and we spend 3 or 4 weeks putting lights up and fixing lights and decorating for Santa. We're real careful how we decorate. You know, we can't be touching the formations. The oil off your hands will disturb how the formation grows. So we have to be real careful how we hang our lights. When we host Christmas in the cave, we hope to see about 2,000 people. They just soak it all in. They come in and they're just amazed. It's like a wonderland with all the different formations, and we really light it up at Christmas so it stands out real good. It's more lit than any other event that we do, so Christmas is a perfect time to see all the unique formations lit up. People right around a mile away from here says, "I've wanted to see that cave for 50 years, and they're just amazed when they come in and see all the decorations. Well, it's a special place, and I'm carrying on what my dad started in '89, protecting the cave.
My name is Jim Whidbey, and I'm a fellow and a member of the National Speleological Society. In Knox County, we have 171 known caves. In Tennessee, we have 10,034 known caves. That's more than any other state. It was about 1854, Robert Cradgington was up on the hill hunting one day and saw fog coming up out of the rocks, moved the rocks around and explored the cave. But we know early American Indians got in here before he did. And then Robert Cradgington's daughter, Margaret Cradgington Gentry, is the one that opened the cave to the public in 1929. And then in October 1980, they had a fire in the kitchen of the restaurant, and a deep well cooker that caught on fire, and it burnt the restaurant, the gift shop, and a little stone house. Everything was destroyed. And from 1980 to 1989, the cave was being vandalized. People were coming in, they were throwing rocks up and breaking the stalactites and soda straws. They were doing a lot of damage to the cave. Nature can't even repair the broken cave formations. The growth rate of cave formations in this cave is about a cubic inch every 100 to 125 years. So there are formations in this cave that have been forming for more than 1 million years. In 1989, I took it on as a conservation project to try to protect the cave.
The cave just needs to be protected. All caves need to be protected. There's no sense in vandalizing something that's been thousands of years in the making. If we don't do it, we don't know who would or what would happen to it. So we're gonna stay here and educate the public about our underground world.
We have 15 different kinds of formations that have occurred in this cave. Stalactites form off of soda straws. A stalactite is easily to remember. Stalactites are holding on tight to the ceiling. Stalagmites, which grow from the floor up, stalagmites might grow to the ceiling, but we have anthrodite needles, or another formation in the cave. Anthrodite needles are quite rare and usually only form in dolomite caves, not in limestone caves. I enjoy caves as natural formations. Caves to me are very unique, the way they form, the size of them, the location of them. It's just sort of a special place. And this cave here, being in a dolomite cave, it makes it very unusual.
I'm always seeing new things that I hadn't seen in the years past, and we have a really unique selection of different formations that are really rare. We have so many people that come out after our Christmas event, and we'll tell some of our volunteers that this was the most special Christmas thing they've ever done, and they plan on making it a tradition. And we've had a lot of families come back every year, and I'm just carrying on what he started here. It's a passion, and what other cool place like this can you go and hang out at? I mean, it's a really fascinating place, and it's just in my blood.
We hope you can enjoy some of the sights and sounds that make for a memorable Tennessee holiday season. I'm Vicki Lawson. We'll see you on the next Tennessee Life.
Tennessee Life is sponsored by
Mid-South Sewing and Fabric has what you need for your creative adventure. If it's sewing, embroidery, or vinyl projects you need for a home business, Etsy, Pinterest, and your family, we have it. Mid-South Sewing sells Brothers Sewing and Embroidery machines and the latest scan and cut crafting machine. Mid-South Sewing and Fabric in the Gallery Shopping Center.
Tennessee Life is also brought to you by The Flower Pot. For over 100 years, offering flowers and same-day delivery with 2 convenient Knoxville locations. KnoxvilleFlowerPot.com. And by viewers like you. Thank you